Hey, RetconRaider here, and welcome back to Scarlet Hollow, Chapter 5. As today, I more or less made up my mind last time around anyway, but as vile as it may be, I just don't think we can really afford to keep this stuff all bottled up. We'll give it proper outlet, hopefully put all this to better practical use. Let's see what we got. You open another. Miss Verena, trouble with tea. Your presence required at once. Miss Verena, another unfamiliar name. Also, I did double check Maeve. That is not a name we have encountered before. Though, obviously, T is Teddy or Theodore. And another. Verena, know what you tried. Do not appreciate the attempted subterfuge. Thought we both... Again, it dissolves. All the letters are addressed to this Miss Maeve, and are all signed E.S. You assume these have to be from Enoch. Many seem unimportant, just listing a time and place. You assume meetings between Enoch and whoever this Verena may have been. Oh, so Miss Maeve and Miss Verena are the same person? Like Maeve Verena or Verena Maeve? I mean, that seems to be the implication there. Before you and Stella know it, the drawer is empty, the floor around you scattered with drained vials, the air stinking of wet rot. Yeah, hopefully we didn't need to keep those things preserved. E.S. has got to be Enoch Scarlet, and that Maeve could be the witch he was talking about in your vision, the one who would fix their problems. Or maybe the witch is Verena. Hard to say. Okay, so maybe it is two separate people. Because that's the way she seems to be interpreting it. Other than that, I'm at a loss. Maybe this will all make more sense once we've explored more of the estate. Right, yeah, that does track. Let's keep poking around. You step away from the desk. Oh yeah, and then all the rest of this stuff, I did spend some time poking at it, and I think it's all just generic background esoteric clutter. Lots of stuff drawing obvious influence from classic cryptozoology or items of esoteric obscura. You've got your Mothman picture on bottom, you've got your Lovecraftian Cthulhu idol, you've got your Thunder Egg, your Skull of St. Benedictus, your Hand of Glory, the Fiji Mermaid, etc. I feel like if they were relevant, they would have drawn direct attention to them. Alright, let's see where these footprints take us. You find yourself on the third floor of the estate for the first time. Oh my. Alongside a number of boxes of Old Carolina and Reginald's Best. Seems like someone up here is a bit of a booze hound. As you take in your surroundings, Stella slowly pans the camera down the length of the hall, working to build dread and tension for her future viewers. She clears her throat again, resuming her narration in a charmingly professional hosting voice. Clearly, Retcon and I are not the only people who have passed through the supposedly forbidden wing. Who knows, we might end up running into someone else sneaking around in here. If you're watching this as found footage after the two of us went missing, now you know where to start looking for our bodies. She drops the camera after her morbid joke, her voice returning to its usual, casual cadence. Looks like the footprints go all the way down this hallway, into that far door. You also notice that there are much fainter tracks leading to the room in front of you, its doorway hidden behind a stack of boxes. These prints are old enough to have accumulated some dust. They were also, notably, not made by boots. If you had to guess, you'd assume they were loafers or some other kind of low heel. So, Tabby or Pearl Ann? You carefully approach the window at the far end of the hall. That sure is a cliff. There is nothing below the window but the tops of distant trees, the ground having crumbled away. The only thing stopping you from plummeting to your death is the straining foundation that still, somehow, holds this place together. At least for now. Jeez. Yeah, that's not great. You quickly retreat back down the hallway and do your best to shove the boxes out of the way. They feel packed full of lead. You can practically hear your shoulders and hips creaking and straining with the effort, but try as you might, you can only budge them about an inch. Then they seem to cement themselves in place, and you find yourself gasping for breath after another few desperate pushes. Here, let me help you with that. You don't need to go straining yourself, what with the whole, overnight graying situation. Stella steps in, pushing the stack away with a bit of strain. Whew. Seems like somebody was trying to keep whatever was in here extra secret. Joke's on them. That just makes me want to tell everyone about it even more. The room is coldly empty. The large antique bed is made, its sheets ancient and dusty, but still somehow giving off the feeling of tidiness. Even with cobwebs stretched between each corner of its four-poster frame. You step towards the desk, its drawers practically overflowing with stationery. You start opening drawers. Each one is filled with paper, stacked haphazardly, practically spilling out as you attempt to dig through for anything important. There'd better not be any more vermin in these drawers. I've met just about enough uncivilized creatures for today, thank you very much. All these bills and receipts are in Edwardine's name. Guess we know whose desk this is. The rest of the room is so neat and tidy, it's amazing that her drawers are such a hoarder's nest of old paper. But I wouldn't be surprised if the Scarlet ladies have always been like this, pretending they have everything together on the surface, then being a total mess on the inside. Sounds like Tabby to a T. Oh, don't tell her I said that. When you reach the bottom right drawers, you find something entirely different. Greeting cards, letters, small wrapped packages. Some open, some sealed, some crumpled into messy balls. You open one of the cards. Both pages are taken up by a handwritten note. Tabby, hope you're doing well. Not a day goes by that I don't miss you. Hope Pearl Ann treats you to your best Christmas yet. I'm not sure what sort of doodads you're into these days, so I sent a little something that made me think of you. Tabby's estranged father. I made sure they were the best shells of the bunch. Not sure how rare any of them are, but they're awful pretty. And they've still got that beach smell. And make sure to put your ear up to them, too. It doesn't compare to the real thing, but it comes close enough. And in case you think that makes me a cheapskate, I made sure to send you a little cash, too, so you can get yourself something a little nicer than glorified beach trash. Make sure you get Pearl Ann to take you to the nice toy store, because that's where I'd take you if I was there. If you get the time, I'd love to hear from you. I miss you so much, Tabby, and I'm always thinking of you. You can come out and visit me anytime. I know you've always wanted to see what it's like out east. I've made sure to write out my address on the back of this card, just in case you didn't know how to get a hold of me. Been missing you, my incredible, wonderful, amazing daughter. All my love, Dad. Oh my God. Stella lowers the camera, averting its gaze from the deeply personal letters. Tabby said her dad never tried to get in touch, that he just abandoned her. You pull out another from closer to the top of the pile. Happy birthday, Tabby. It's me again, your old dad. So the big 2-0. I can't believe my daughter is such an adult. In my mind, you're still that bouncy little kid doing cartwheels on the front lawn, telling me what various sounds animals make like you're the professor of animal noises. I have no idea if you read these, but I'll keep writing them, even if sometimes I feel like I'm writing them to a ghost. I mean, we haven't spoken in almost 15 years. You're a whole human being now, and I have no idea what you're like. I'd like to think we'd get along, though. As always, my address is on the back. I hope you'll decide to come visit me one of these days. I've got a guest room all set up, just in case. It's always ready for you, kid. I love you, and I always will, no matter who you turned out to be. Love, Dad. There are years and years of these. The bottom drawer is almost entirely unopened envelopes, dated from when Tabitha would have just been a kid. All from him. It kind of looks like Edwardine and Pearl Ann were keeping these from Tabitha on purpose for practically her entire life. I don't even know if we should tell her. I mean, there could have been good reason, right? Like, maybe it was awful and telling her would just be painful and dredge up bad memories, but... Yeah, I'm not so sure about that, Stella. I know this is a lot and you're trying to rationalize it in your head, but... Definite pattern emerging here. Tabby kept deliberately isolated from her father, her boyfriend, and her best friend. The Scarlet family was built on deliberate isolation of the various successors. That aside, Tabby's a grown woman. She deserves to know the truth. I don't care if she gets mad about us invading her privacy or what, but at least this way she'll have a choice. Besides, it's not like she wasn't going to find out about all this anyway once you post that video. But, you know, even if you weren't... You're right. She has to know the truth. You make your way to the closet next. It's as lifeless and tidy as the rest of the room. It seems Edwardine kept things neat and orderly, or as neat and orderly as she could, considering the decaying state of the place. This looks to me like where Pearl Ann would go shopping for Tabby's clothes. It's exactly the sort of thing she wears. In fact, I'm pretty sure I've seen her in that dress before. The only thing here besides her clothes and shoes is a box, shoved off to one side. You pick it up. Child-sized overalls, striped shirts, a small pair of trousers with suspenders still attached. One of those little sailor suits boys from the 50s were always wearing. Like for a photograph. Boys' clothes? That's weird. When was the last time a boy was born into the family? I mean, me. Other than you. Yeah, that's fair. Teddy, like 1800s? So, over a century ago, which would be many decades older than this. When you pull out the last shirt, a note is revealed, tucked away in the bottom of the box in a protective plastic sleeve. Mommy, I am in here too, and I love you. It's scrawled in almost illegible handwriting, written in some thick, brown, watery ink that's cracked with age. Oh, good. What the? Even through the shiny stuff, I can smell the blood. And it isn't nice smelling blood either. Put that foul thing back where you found it before it sends me into a frenzy. Uh-huh. It's okay, Gretchen. You don't have to squirm so much. It's just paper. Really, really creepy paper. Stella zooms in on the unsettling note, making sure the camera takes in every detail. Okay, I got the footage I need. You should put that back before you get a curse from it or something. You drop the note back into the box, once again covering it with the clothes. Folks, what you just saw was found in the bottom of a box of boys' clothes, hidden away in Edwardine Scarlet's closet. Also, creepy doll, or dolls plural. One of which could be this one right over here, just over Stella's shoulder, though I will say, at a glance, it does not look to be the same. Yet the only children she supposedly ever had were girls. This mystery is getting so thick it's gone from gumbo to gravy. You know, Stella, just the other day I found records that did mention Edwardine had a stillborn son. Middle name was Charles, after Charles Shaw. Stella's eyes go wide. No way! You're not just winding me up, right? Because that is a bombshell. I mean, do you think Charlie? But then, oh my God. Okay, hear me out. What if he wasn't stillborn? I mean, he would have been a bastard son, right? And with Enoch the way he was, and the fact that your family has the whole Southern Gothic thing going on. I hope we find out more about this. Forget about gravy. The mystery just boiled over. I mean, they were straight up willing to murder Charlie, so Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to speculate on the fate of their... what is almost certainly their child. I think we're headed towards finding out anyway. Achievo. Yay. You and Stella return to the hallway. Oh boy, we've got a haunted nursery, everybody. Creepy doll, off right. Kind of a Poppy Playtime vibe from that one. Cutesy animal patterns up top. Includes a wolf, top right. The top shelf is occupied by antique picture books. Dick and Jane, nursery rhymes, ancient editions of Grimm's fairy tales. The lower shelves are full of educational material, from children's encyclopedias to writing practice workbooks. From the sheer number of learning-oriented books on the shelf, you get the impression that the children who lived here were not supposed to be as interested in fun and fiction as they were in diction and spelling. But that doesn't seem to have stopped them from making their own fun. You see quite a few books with children's art stuffed in between the pages, the corners peeking out, tiny scribbled hands waving at you from their yellowed pages. You take a particularly doodled-on encyclopedia off the shelf. If Daddy plays with me and Mary Belle, if my family goes to the zoo, if Mommy and Grandpa took us to work, if me and Mary Belle and Mommy and Daddy and Grandpa have a picnic. Alexandra Scarlet. All are signed with a carefully scrawled signature of Alexandra Scarlet. There's a strange, fantastical element to these pictures. Everyone is smiling and sitting together, as any family would in a child's drawing. And yet it feels like they are drawn in the same hopeful way a child would draw a unicorn. Expressions of some reality that Alexandra could only dream of. I mean, yeah, they're all posited as hypotheticals. If, not when. Daddy napping, Mommy going to work. There are less joyful illustrations as well. Daddy napping shows their father sleeping in a chair, a bottle of brown liquid conspicuously drawn on the table next to him. The girls hovering in the doorway some distance away. Mommy going to work shows the girls crying in the upstairs window of a house as their mother walks away, an angry frown scrawled on her face. Wow, these are awful. The viewers are going to eat this up. You get the feeling these are more accurate depictions of the girls' lives. The boy in the wall. The last picture you pull out gives you pause. There's a new figure here, seemingly drawn beyond a barrier. The two girls sit on the other side, smiles on their cartoon faces. 3 girls. Alexandra, Mary Belle. Who's the third? The boy in the wall? Are you kidding me? People are going to think I planted this or something. It's just too creepy. Stella makes sure to linger on the image, getting plenty of B-roll of the scribbled lines. You leaf through a few of the practice workbooks, gently turning the near, crumbling pages. Reasons Mommy should take me and Mary Belle to the zoo. 1. We have been very good girls and have not cried for a whole week. 2. Mary Belle says elephants are so big and I would like to see. 3. I think it would be very fun and Mommy would have a good time. These are also the work of Alexandra. You flip through the rest of the book, your eyes unfocused as the many practice sentences and letter copying pages flash by. But something near the back of the book gives you pause. In a section that starts with the prompt, "Today I," Alexandra continues with, "talked to the boy in the wall." There he is again. More boy in the wall? I'm getting goosebumps. This is just so weird. Hold on a minute. the little boy's clothes, the note, the fact that Edwardine had a bastard son at some point, now a boy in the wall. This is all starting to add up. Uh-huh. You're done here. Return to the hall. You and Stella make your way back out to the hallway. And head for the farthest room. You continue following the trail of footprints, approaching the farthest room down the hall. The door was clearly meant to be hidden, but it's been left open. Where in the world have you taken me? This place is pure evil. It's okay, Gretchen. It's just a big empty room. There's nothing to be scared of. The curtains on the far side of the room catch your eye. Below them, you can see the edge of a tiled section of floor. The smooth white porcelain, a strange contrast against the hardwood. You cross the room and yank back the curtain. Stella raises the camera, its lens trailing up the tiles, to the meat hook dangling from the end of a heavy chain in the center of the odd, shower-like alcove. You can just make out the rusty stains of what looks like long, dry blood in between the tiles. There's been an effort to clean it up, but just enough was missed that it doesn't escape your attention. Well, Stellars, if anybody has any idea what this is, please enlighten us. It almost looks like a place where you'd butcher something. But what is it doing all the way up here? Across from the nursery of all places. Yeah, we could really use some crib notes about now. Stella crosses the room, training the camera on the door on the far side. Like the way you entered, it too has been left ajar, as if inviting you to explore what might be behind it. More of Wayne's handiwork, no doubt. The doors to this room seem like they would be almost totally invisible if they hadn't been left open. There aren't handles or anything, just keyholes. Yeah, like the door in Pearl-Ann's closet. Also deliberately left open and uncovered by Wayne. Very deliberate wainscoting. So it's gotta be a hidden passage. Amazing, your family really pulled out all the stops when it comes to creepy stuff. Yeah, I think they call that scope creep. You exit into a short hallway. There are stairs here, leading back down to the lower floors. But there is also another door. Which we know. We have seen that door. We've seen this hall. This was in our vision. It's hanging ajar, the many locks and deadbolts along its edge, glimmering in the weak morning light. The doorframe itself is gouged and splintered, evidence that some desperate creature tried to save itself from the room beyond, time and time again. Holy shit. My goodness gracious, I simply won't step another foot further. As much as I feel like I should always be at my dearest Stella's side, this is one place I dare not go. It's simply too dreadful. Gretchen's whining reaches a fever pitch. Geez, okay, I get it. The scary room is too scary for a little dog like you. You don't have to go in, just don't go running off anywhere. See how the edge of the door is all messed up? Looks to me like something didn't want to be put back in there. Before you can stop her, Stella steps into the little room, her camera drinking in every detail. Oh my God. You step forward to join her. Gretchen remained rooted to the floor outside. This was a prison cell. And there's our doll. Along with the doorknob, no doubt used to open the secret door in our closet. Everything about this place reeks of neglected humanity. The walls are covered in scratches, legible words mixed in with the nonsense of desperate clawing. The one window set high on the far wall is fitted with a thick pane of glass, as if the iron bars just beyond it wouldn't be enough to hold the imprisoned. You can't help but notice that the doll from your closet sits watching you from the bed, one eyelid drooping. It adds an extra layer of menace to the already deeply unsettling room. Look at all these scratches in the walls. Did a person do this? I can't imagine how much it would have hurt. You can't help but notice that Stella's camera is no longer recording. Its little red indicator as dead as the air hanging over this room. Really? It stinks, too, like nothing I've ever smelled before. I've been in sewer drains that smelled better. If it's not recording, then why is she still going through the motions? Like, they very explicitly pointed that out right before she raised it again. Has she just not noticed, or is she just trying to pretend she's recording? Actually, is that why she didn't know what the disintegrating messages said? Because she wasn't actually recording it? Oh, man. Tabby. What happened here, Retcon? What the hell happened here? Your eyes are drawn to the massive, almost letters, dug as deep into the brick as this cell's prisoner could manage, highlighted with whatever pigments were available. That doll. That's the one I mentioned before, the one that used to be in my closet. Stella walks over to the doll and examines it. Property of Alexandra. Kids always talked about how she went missing. It's one of our town's urban legends. I wonder if they ever found her body. Maybe there wasn't a body to find. I mean, Stella, based on what we found in the past few minutes, I think we can probably guess at why she went missing. Jeez. This doesn't all feel like old skeletons in the closet either. The smell is too fresh, and some of those locks on the door are modern. Stella lets the statement hang in the air. I just hope Tabitha didn't know about all this. To think it's possible that the whole time we knew each other, all those nights we stayed up late talking, she might have known this existed. No, she didn't know. She wouldn't have let something like this happen. Let's get out of here before somebody slams the door on us, or... You and Stella are interrupted by a sound wrapping around you. Music. The tinkling of piano keys played by a clumsy hand. They echo up a narrow staircase at the end of the hall. One you've yet to travel. You hear that creepy music, right? Stella seems uncharacteristically shaken. She clutches at your arm, the camera trembling in her hand. Oh God, someone else is in here. You know who the mysterious player is. It must be Wayne. He asked you to come here, led you up to the 3rd floor with the obvious tracks in the dust. And now, in his own strange way, he's inviting you to keep investigating, asking you to choose to find him. The two of you stagger back into the hall, which I am not happy about because I was not expecting an explore option to end the scene early. Do you think it's him? Wayne? Stella seems to swallow her momentary fear, straightening back up and letting the light return to her features. If it is him, he could have information. He seems like he knows a lot about what's going on in town. And who knows, maybe he'd be more willing to talk now that we found all those secrets your family has been hiding. Finally! The two of you have finally removed yourselves from that wretched place. That means it's time to go now, yes? It's time for all of us to leave this awful place. Sorry, Gretch, not just yet. Man, Wayne, this really does kind of paint him as another victim of this whole conspiracy. Tabby's former boyfriend, who went MIA after confronting Pearl Ann, or something to that effect. I'd have to go back and double-check the exact wording used, but I think the ultimate impression was that he was going out with Tabby, and Pearl Ann disapproved, which I'm gonna guess does somehow play into his current state, though I suppose the big question is whether his relationship with Tabby was legitimate, or if he always had some ulterior motive, which just eventually caught up with him. Maybe he's related to Charles Shaw. I think you're right, Stella, but there's only one way to be sure. We should go have a chat. All of us. He's clearly shown an interest in me, but you're in this as much as I am. Assuming that's what you want. Of course. No way are we splitting up. I'm not going to let that creep draw you into some trap without me around to help you out. Come on, Gretchen. I'll carry you. Stella scoops up Gretchen, the pug still visibly shaking with the fear this place seems to instill in her, though Stella's comforting grip seems to ease her poor little doggy spirit. That's right, my little old lady. Nothing bad happened. Besides being shaken to my core, I guess. But nothing physical. We're just seeing one scary man and then we're leaving. Oh, Stella, please. Thank goodness we're finally getting out of this place. I don't know why Stella insists on visiting such dreadful domiciles. But at least she has me to protect her if things ever go awry. You two are raising so many death flags right now. This is not... Come on. Stella's gotta be more genre savvy than that. Great, now I'm like 1,000% more anxious than I was like 3 paragraphs ago. Her grip is firm and warm and reassuring, and together you make your way down the hall to the source of the eerie music. Which, you know, I hate to do it to you, but that does make this an ideal place to go ahead and hit that pause button. Because, my goodness, they could not have choreographed that something terrible is about to happen any more blatantly than they just did. That said, yeah, we'll hit the pause button for now. I am going to go and... I'm going to go take another look at the Scarlet family tree. verify a couple of details, and we will pick up here next time. As I guess we face the music. See you then. Oh, and special thanks to the Raiders, the fine folks who help make these videos possible, including but not limited to Eerie V23, Revenant, Alois, Bowman, Dragon Matrix 7, Drakiith, EgonAlter, Exsellsior, Gottlieb, James Trimmier, Lady Shayna, Mark Giemza, RandomPassrby, RobbyB, Triphoppenskip, and Valinrook. Thanks for your support, guys. That said, if you'd also like to help support the channel, then feel free to push the buttons that do the things. Trust me, it does make a difference. Or you could even check out the PayPal, the Patreon, the Nexus GG, or the YouTube memberships. Links are in the description. You know, to all 2 of my viewers out there.